Alright, folks. This is Novice Monolith Ridge. You can tell by these cool rocks here and here. This is one of the 50 practice matches that you get in the beginning of the multiplayer. You can totally choose to skip over them and go straight to the placement matches, or you can actually play all 50 of them, or actually however many you want and then skip them. And so, I will be spawning as the blue Protoss on the bottom left, and my opponent, DiGo, DiGo, however you want to say that, will be spawning as the red Terran on the bottom right. Personally, I just prefer to say DiGo because the D and the G are capitalized. So I think it's like 2 syllables, but I might be totally crazy. This is the production tab here. I am making a pylon like right above the grass so I can see just in case if he has units hiding here, maybe Reapers perhaps. I did do it by the watchtower because I probably will be placing some buildings here just for convenience. And so my opponent does have his supply depot on the way at 10 supply, which is pretty good. But he's not pumping out SCV, so he's a little delayed. I do have a simulator on the way. And my opponent is going for a 10 barracks. And if you can't read this, it says that DiGo is playing from Brazil, and I am playing from the USA. And so I will be playing against a Brazilian, or Brazilianese. So I did place a pylon here because just in case that my opponent decides to go for an early marine rush or something, that if these rocks just happen to go down, I will have these buildings here just to protect my base. I can't say the same for DiGo though, because he is hoping that these rocks will protect him from any attack, so he could just prepare, place units here, here, and just shoot away. So he does have first barracks out, and he does have an engineering bay on the way. As for me, I do have 2 gateways being warped in right now, and the engineering bay will most likely be used for turret placement just in case I decide to go for air, or just unit upgrades, or perhaps even building upgrades, which usually is a rare find. So my opponent did get this first marine out before lifting off. If I remember correctly, he does try to proxy here and actually use that barracks as a scout. My apologies. He is making a second barracks, and he does actually have his refinery now, so that's all good. I have a third pylon on the way, as well as a cybernetics core, and that always means warp gates and or stalkers and sentries, because that is always cool. I don't know what my stupid probe is doing. So let's watch this cool barracks as my opponent is making an orbital command. Ah! So let's check out the view. I do have a robotics facility on the way, but I did place it all the way up here on the high ground. So chances are he won't scout that at all. Let's just check out his view. So he does see the cybernetics core on the gateway, so he probably thinks I'm running on 1 gate, 1 cybernetics core. So he's trying to pump out some marines while I have my pros like, no! And so my opponent actually is just kind of focusing on this one attack here. He isn't really building anything, or he isn't using his SCVs that are just idle. So my stalker is out. It is going to kill that marine, but he does have, another 2 on the way. And that is my second one. And I am making a forge! Forges usually means upgrades and cannons. And so, yeah, this barracks would go down had it stayed there a little bit longer. But he is using his SCVs. He actually has 1 too many SCVs on this refinery. In StarCraft 2, the placement for the refinery is best so that you can maximize your refinery income by placing either 3 or 4 SCVs on this. It seems for this one the optimum is 3, so he does have 1 too many here. He's getting a tech lab for his barracks, and he's going to be moving his first barracks to the high ground. It is defended by these 2 rocks. I am opting for a first expansion, as well as a 3rd gateway, and I'm pretty sure I have something really wonky somewhere. I do have a 2nd assimilator. I'm pretty sure I did have something pretty crazy on the way. Oh, I had an observer on the way, and I'm using that to actually just scout here because I still don't know that he is in this area of the map yet. He knows that I'm here, but I have no clue that he's here, so this will give him a little bit of time to actually build up a force to fight my army. So he will be placing a marine here just to scout around. He sees my stalker, but I have no clue where he is, so he knows that I'm scouting. He's building a reactor just to pump out some marines, get on the high ground, just shoot down some people. For my robotics facility, I am making a warp prism instead of an immortal, because I like to keep these rocks intact for novice games as long as possible, just to defend. And so I'm going to try to get a warp prism, and since I know he's not here, I know that he must be here. So at this point, my observer is just checking for expansions that he might have possibly done. I am getting my 3rd assimilator up, and my opponent is actually finally using this engineering bay for his infantry upgrades. He's also producing marauders, marines, and he's finally getting some of those turrets down. He does have a bunker ready, so he's trying to kind of turtle in here and defend his main without actually going for an expansion. So he sees my warp prism, and then he sees me warping in my stalker, and that's going to totally rape that marine right there. So my stalker here, just looking around, is like, oh no, does he have stuff? My observer is finally here. Little do I know that he has turrets, so my observer is probably going to die. On the way right now are 2 more pylons for me and a probe. While for my opponent, he's trying to make a, oh, he's placing his barracks back down here. He has armor upgrades on the way, a marauder. He is finally opting for a factory. A little late on the tech though, because he did try that early barrack proxy, which kind of failed. I am making an immortal, not chrono boosting out, just making a normal one. And so my stalker's here, all lonely. He's like, oh, look, I found yellow mineral, guys. Just come here. But my guys are too lazy to come here. Go there. And so my warp prism is actually quite safe because the only thing that can attack it is this lone marine, and he is going to go down very quickly. So in terms of income, so far, I have actually been plowing ahead because this guy has... This is what happens when you try to go for a proxy barracks in your opponent's base on a huge map like this. And resources, I'm way ahead. Units, I do have a better army composition only because I wiped out his entire army just now. So I have this immortal. I don't believe I actually do anything with him. I just leave it here. Oh, and he leaves the game. I tell him that his proxy failed and died. And he just gets mad and leaves the game without saying anything. So units lost. I actually only lost 2 units. I believe those are both stalkers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're both stalkers, because I usually don't use much in novice games except for that. Army-wise, I guess this would be a bad time to check army. My apologies. APM, my APM almost doubled. Almost, not quite. But I do have these stalkers, and I mean, in all honesty, I don't think he should have gone for that proxy barracks, because if he had actually stayed here and built up enough force, by the time I finished scouting and gotten here with my warp prism, he would have had enough marines and marauders to actually take this out, and then it would have actually forced me to either get another warp prism and put it here, warp my units here through the pylon, or actually break down these rocks and try to go through. And so that would have actually slowed me down a lot, because then I had to actually trek across all the way here, either go through here, break down his rocks, but he did have that bunker there, and he probably would have had another one here just scouting just to make sure. so he could shoot. And this attack route completely failed on my part. And he actually could have won, but the proxy barracks that he tried to do with the liftoff and put it here actually slowed him down in economy a lot because he mainly focused on microing with this barracks. And he actually left a lot of idle SCVs, so he actually was down in the harvester count by a lot most of the game because of this. So you guys just want to make sure that to micro your SCVs, make sure they're not idle, because idle SCVs means less money for you, and then less money means a smaller army, and that means you're more likely to get owned by your opponent. So this was a novice game, one of the 50 practice matches that I mentioned before. So this is not a high level game, and just practicing my casting skills. So don't forget to subscribe. God, it's so hard for me to say that word very fast. So yeah, so don't forget to subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye.